everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. I will be taking this Christmas wreath and transforming it to a patriotic wreath. Alright everyone, so this is my Christmas wreath. This is a wreath that I transform for each season or holiday. So I do spring, summer, fall, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And this past Christmas I took it down and I never did do a spring transformation on it. So I'm going to go straight into my summer, and I decided that I want to have a patriotic wreath. And I think I'm going to just have it all summer long, and then we'll do it again for the fall. Now, the base of this wreath is a grapevine. And then I have these beautiful flowers here. They have a very pretty kind of creamy white color, more like an off-white than it is white. But I love those flowers. And then it's got some greenery here, this little vine here that's wrapped around. It's a garland actually. And then I have a little bit of this other type of greenery on there. Now those are always on there. The birdhouse, I think I added it just a little over a year ago to my wreath. That's also stayed on there throughout the year, the past year when I changed the seasons on it. And I do change the bow around as well. So this year, what I want to do, I am going to reuse some of the items, but as I do every time I transform it, I add new items. This year, I am going to remove everything completely off of it. I am not going to be reusing the birdhouse because I plan on using the US flag instead. I do plan on reusing these flowers, the vine, or rather the garland that's going around of this particular light colored green. And I am going to use these bits of greenery that are in here, right here. I am going to reuse those. So let me show you what I have and let's get to crafting. All right, everyone, so I'm going to be using this flag. It is a US flag. It's a little worn, it's a little dirty, but I like that about it. I've hung it outside and the wind and the weather have gotten to it. But it is not in bad condition, it's still in good condition. So I'm going to be using that in my wreath to create a patriotic look. To combine with the off-white flowers that are on the wreath, I'm going to go ahead and add these red flowers. That's what they look like, and these are called, let's see, they're called mums. So that's what they are. These are baby's breath. So I got those in red, and I got a couple of those as well. Now I have these little mini sunflowers already. They may have another name to them, but I'm just going to be calling them little sunflowers. They're beautiful yellow color, and I want to add that to my wreath as well. Now, while at the Dollar Tree, they already had some fall items out, and I saw these are maple leaves, and I saw them in blue. Look at that, they're so pretty. I decided that I wanted this as my blue that I add to the floral and greenery, so I'll be adding those as well. Now, I happen to have this metal flag that was also from the Dollar Tree a couple of years ago. I used it on a plaque that I created. I'm going to use it on my wreath. Now, I will be painting my metal star, so I've got some spray paint here. This is Rust-Oleum's American Accents. It is Ultra Cover Paint and Primer in Satin Espresso, just in case you're wondering what I'm using. The tools that I'll be using will be some wire cutters, scissors, and I'll be putting my wreath together with a hot glue. Okay, so I need to remove everything off my wreath. Normally I don't do that. Like I said, the flowers stay on here, the greenery. I just remove the seasonal decorative items off of it and then add new ones. But this time, like I said, I'm going to remove everything. But before I do that, I'm going to take my metal star and take it outside and spray paint it. I don't know if I'll need one coat or two coats, but I need to take it outside so it can dry completely before I can put it on my wreath. So while that is drying, then I can come back and remove everything off of my wreath. So you'll see a plain grapevine wreath when we get back. So here's my wreath, all nice and clean. I've removed everything off of it. I did forget to mention that you'll need some sort of wire, so you can use a paddle of floral wire, or you can use some chenille stems in whatever colors you happen to have. They'll get hidden pretty much, so don't worry about that. My wreath has a kind of a thicker part here, and it gets a little bit thin here. So I'm going to use this for the bottom and this for the top, because this is going to get hidden once I drape the flag over it. So behind it, at the top, I usually have a wire here, some greenery wire, making a little loop so I can hang it. Now, if you have a wreath hanger, of course, you could just hook it up on there. But I'm going to go ahead and use a chenille stem. I'm going to cut maybe about 3/4 length of it. I don't need the whole length. And I'm going to put it through a good amount of of the grapevine here. Twist it nice and tight. And because I have a little nail where I hang my wreath in my front door, I'm going to make a little loop. Just enough where my thumb can fit through it. And then just twist the rest of it. Oops, and some of the grapevine gets stuck on there. Okay, so just twist the rest of it. Hide the little ends into the wreath so you don't scratch the door. So now it's got a little bit of a loop right here where I can hang it from. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drape all this so that I have mainly the star part. I want to drape like this. But like I said, I don't want to destroy it in any way. So I'm just going to take a pin actually, and I'm just going to pin this so that it stays draped like that. And then I can attach it from these grommets to the back of my wreath. Okay, so I'm just going to, like, you know, grab this and kind of create some pleats. And I'll go ahead and pin right here. You can use safety pins instead of just regular straight pins. Get that through there. And then have it grab on over here. This is all going to get hidden. I don't want to use hot glue, so. All right, so right here as well. Create another little pleat right there. Some pleating so it has a draped effect. Okay, so now let me get it onto the wreath. Here's the top. So I have the little loop right here, the top of my wreath. And I kind of want this to kind of come at an angle, kind of come this way. So this is the center. Put it right here. And let's turn this around right here. So I can tie from the grommet that it has here and then over here. I'm going to take another chenille stem and I'm going to cut it in half. Get that through the grapevine and the grommet on the flag. And tie that up. And try to pull this as tight as I can so it doesn't droop like that, and then you'll see the pins and so forth. So I'm going to pull it up as much as I can over here. Here's my little loop for hanging it in the center, like that. All right, so let's turn this back around, and let me get my flag and put it through here. All right, turn it back around, and what I want is for it to be sitting on this wreath as if it were sitting on a swing. So I want to grab it like that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open it up. Now I'm going to face it towards me here so I can see what I'm doing. It's at an angle like that. And I'm going to spread it out and then just kind of gather it and let it fall behind. And I don't want it to fall so much behind it that I can see this, okay? So I'm going to pick it up a little bit. There we go, right there. And then this is going to fall straight like that. Okay, so in order to get this not to move, I'm going to take a chenille stem and I'm going to wrap around this, but I'm not going to wrap it around like real tight. Just kind of loosely, so basically the 6 inches of width there for the draping of the flag, and then I'm going to just make a little thing like this. It's going to have a little bit of a tail here, okay? So we can then, I'm going to put it behind again, and it's kind of draping across. This is the middle, the top. I'm going to get that little end there. Actually, let me do a little bit more so it'll have more like maybe 4 inches of draping here. So I'm going to take those other 2 inches of end of the chenille stem and then just tie it up in the back so it's hanging back here. And to keep it down, I'm going to take this part of the chenille and I'm going to wrap that. I'm going to use another piece here. Oops, let's get that right there. Okay, so that's what I did. It's tied up right there. So now it stays behind and it'll come the front of it. and then just hang down like that, which is what I want. All right. Okay, so now that I've got that, let's go on to the next step. All right, I've gone ahead and I've hung my wreath just so that you can see how the flag is draping kind of to the side here and then dripping down off the wreath right here. It is just kind of hanging and swinging on it. That is the look that I wanted, so you can take a look at that and decide if that's what you want. And also, I think it looks really beautiful just like that, you guys. What do you think? I mean, if all you have is a flag and a wreath and that's all you want to do, it looks absolutely beautiful. You could certainly put it out on your front door or wherever it is that you want to place it in. Maybe it's in a room that you want to, inside your home that you want to display it. It looks absolutely beautiful like that. But I do have some items that I want to go ahead and put on it, so let's go ahead and decorate it a little bit more. Alright, so I've been playing around with the placement of these main flowers just to decide where I want them. Before, I have them kind of equally spread along my wreath, but I've decided that I want to do a cluster of 2 and 2, and because I have an extra one here, this will only be 1. So that's kind of where I want to place them. There will be other flowers in between. Now I do have a garland of greenery that I want to put down onto my wreath first. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, this was already attached to my wreath, and why did I take it off? I wanted to take it off because I wanted to show you, for those of you who have not seen when I originally decorated this wreath and put this vine or garland on it, how easy it is to do that. So this is just a garland that I bought already made, and all I'm doing is I'm putting it around, you know, shape it around my wreath. Oh, let me measure my wreath because I don't remember what size this is, and just in case you're wondering, and I don't know if I told you what size my American flag is, but it was a 35 by 48. Okay, I may have measured incorrectly, maybe 36 by 48. Okay, so this is what would be described as a 24-inch wreath. So just so that you have a something to go by, a size to go by. So you get a smaller flag, maybe a smaller wreath, or, you know, work with what you have. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to put this on here. Now I don't want to hide the flag with this greenery here, this garland. So I'm just going to put my flag up here like that. And I'm just going to place it in there. I don't even have to hot glue this on. I'm just going to take little bits of wire and grab it here and there all the way around till my greenery is attached. And as you can see right here, it's not long enough to go all the way around, but that's okay. But that's where my flag drapes over. Okay, let me go ahead and attach this with little bits of wire. And I'm just going to take this floral wire, just because I don't really want to see the chenille stems. I want to take this floral wire and do the same thing, attaching it like if I was attaching it with the chenille stems. And always making sure that you get the ends of your wires, once you've twisted them, push them into your wreath so they're not sticking out, because you could be moving your hands in there, poke yourself with those wires. So make sure you do that. Okay, and I'll shape my greenery once I've got it all tied down. Okay, I feel like I need another one over here, and I'll be back once this is all wired down. All right, so here I have the bow that was already on there. There was another bow that was right in here. It was glued right into it, so I've got some little remnants of glue and some pine in there, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to maneuver the loop so that I can cover all that up. And of course, I'll poof it up a little bit better once I have it attached to my wreath. Now I want to attach it right down here. Remember, that is the center right there. So I'm just going to come straight down and attach it right here. And it's got plenty of this chenille stem length to just wrap it around and tie it on there. If not, I would just add some wire. So let's go ahead and get that under there. And if it doesn't hang the way that I want it, I'll add some glue behind it. Okay, so I'm just going to twist the chenille stem and then just get the ends, roll them together and push them into the wreath so that I can then hide it with the bow. And it did have another ribbon that is just like this one here from the bow that was draped around. I've got it over there on the side. I may put it back on there, but I won't do it until after I've got flowers on there, because I don't want to place them somewhere where maybe I can hot glue some, you know, and it'll drape right over an area where I can hot glue some flowers. Okay, I'm going to go check on my star that I took outside and painted and bring it back in and take a look. All right, so here's my star, and I've painted it brown. Of course, if you happen to have a star and you like the color, just leave it or paint it whatever color you want. I'm going to attach this hanging from the top here of my wreath. I thought about placing it, you know, kind of off to the side here. I kind of played by moving it around a little bit here and there, but I decided that I'm going to hang it from the top. Now, the star that I bought happens to have a couple little holes already in it, so I can just hang it from those little holes. So it makes it really convenient. So I'm just going to use a half of a chenille stem. So cut that. If you don't have little holes in the back, you can take your star, fold your chenille into a V like that. Wherever you want to hang it from, put lots of glue, stick that chenille down in there, let that dry really well, and then you can use that to tie. Maybe you want to do it in some other spots if you're able to, you know, grab those, you know, those areas or can reach to another spot. You can use that. I would also suggest that you use the green floral wire like this. If you need to do a long string that might run across, because it'll kind of hide a little bit. Now that's what I did with the birdhouse. And you can kind of see a little bit of the wire going across where it was hanging because I wanted it to suspend it in a certain position. So I had to do that. So if you need to use some wire and then like maybe tie from here going over here, and then you'll see the wire right here. But then you can also maneuver your leaves, flowers and such to hide that. Okay, let's go on to putting this right in there. And I'm just going to then tie it to my wreath. Simple as that. And of course, that little top part, I just want to make sure that my little loop that's back here, the top, is centering with this, and it is. And I just tie it on like that. Okay. And flip it over so it hangs like so. And I took some time to fix this greenery, and I'm kind of squishing it. So that's where that star is going to be. It's going to hang right there. Of course, once it's hanging on the wall, it'll hang a little bit nicer. It won't hang, you know, so off or uneven. But anyway, I did have some little bits here that I cut off from the end over here because it was coming a little too much this way. And I felt like over here it had a little bareness. So I'm going to add these pieces of greenery into this section over here just so that that gets a little, you know, it feels a little fuller. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to push the little end into the grapevine there. Grab a little bit of floral wire. And I'm actually going to tie it onto the garland itself from where it came. Oh, let's get that little leaf out of the way. Throw that back in there. There we go. We can use a little bit of hot glue to keep it in place. I have this little extra piece here that I'm also going to add a little bit of glue and just tuck it in there somewhere. Put some glue right there where it's grabbing with the wire. Okay, so now the space over here doesn't look so empty. All right, let's hang it straight. Okay, now let's add some flowers. Okay, I decided to go ahead and hang my wreath. I feel like you can look at it a little bit better this way. Also, just so that everything hangs properly. The draping of the flag is hanging properly, so is the star. Kind of just moved it over a little bit off-centered. I think it looks really nice. It kind of balances off the flag coming off-center from one side and then the star from the other side. I don't know if you see that, but that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so I've got these flowers, and they've got a fairly long stem, and I've never trimmed that stem. I've just tucked it right into the grapevine with a little bit of glue because in case I ever wanted to remove them, but it seems like they have stayed on this wreath for the longest time. Now I decided that I wanted 2 flowers like that up here, 2 over here, and then 1 right here. So I'm going to continue that. I'm going to choose the one that looks the biggest to me, and it seems like this one is. Probably the exact same size, but for some reason this one looks bigger to me, and I'm going to put this one right here. Kind of, I'm going to tuck the stem kind of coming out from behind the bow right there, but I need to put a little bit of glue first, so let's do that. Hot glue, that's all I'm doing. So sliding it in there. There we go. Now, another thing is that when I'm grabbing my stems, you'll notice my stem is bent. I mean, this is the way the stems are going to be on your bush. If you buy them by the bush or if you buy a long stem, they're all going to be straight. What you want to do is you want to bend them, because when you stick them in there, you don't want this, you know, getting crushed flat like that. So you want to bend it forward so that when it hits against your wreath, you know, it's like that. It doesn't get crushed like that, and then you don't see the pretty flowers. So make sure you bend your flowers anytime you're doing any kind of an arrangement with them. Okay, so the next two are going to be up here. So some glue. Now I've got 3 more. This one looks kind of big, just like the other 2 up here, but these look a little bit smaller, so I'm going to grab a small one to place next to this one. I'm almost tempted to trim the stems, but I'm not going to. Okay, the other 2 flowers will go over here to balance off this creams over here. I'm going to add them over here. All right, so now I have this bush of red mums that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut them also from the bush, and I'm going to cut them at the longest point so that those stems are nice and long. I could cut them short and just stick them on there, but who knows? I may want to reuse these flowers in another arrangement. Again, folding or bending the flowers upward. I have 5, so I believe I'm going to use 2 here, 1 here, maybe another 2 on this side over here as well. I like this nice big one. This one doesn't have any leaf on it, which is okay. Again, I'm going to bend it. Kind of like it right there. You know what, you guys? I am going to do a little bit of trimming. These are flowers from the Dollar Tree. They're inexpensive. I can replace these. There we go. So I'll take this other one and I'm going to add it up here just to give this length upward. And bring some of that red color up here because we have the brown and a lot of blue kind of over here. And the red doesn't happen until over here and then off to the side over here. Okay, so now I've got 3 more flowers, 1 up here and then 2 over here. Okay, so now I've got these little sunflowers and I've got tons of them. So I'm going to just start putting them in different spots in my arrangement, or actually my wreath. And I want to put like a little bit cluster here, maybe another cluster on this side. So a cluster here, and then I'll see if I can work some, you know, in here and so forth. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll take a few of these, make a cluster up in that little empty spot up here. There we go. I don't know if you can see that, but I will pan the camera around the wreath at the very end so that you can see where everything is. I am down to my last little cluster, so I'm going to add those on. And we'll move on to the next one, which is these little red baby's breath. All right, so now I'm going to put these little red baby's breath onto my wreath. And I've already cut them from the little bushes. It's a little bush like this, and I've cut the little stems like this. I'm not liking the little leaves. Also, these stems get a little long, so I'm going to just trim that off, and I'm just going to use this part. Also, I do have some greenery that I had pulled off from the wreath from before. These were also already on the wreath before, and I want to put those back on there to fill in some little spots that look a little bare. So I want to do that before I add the baby's breath because I don't want these leaves to cover the baby's breath. Actually, this should have gone on there before I actually put these little yellow flowers, but I want you to look at it right now. Right now, all it has is 3 different flowers and 1 garland of greenery, and of course the bow that I've added to it after the star and the flag that's been draped on there. So now you can decide, okay, I like that look. I don't want to have to put any more flowers. It is full enough for me. So you would stop there and that's all you need, okay? So, but I'm going to continue with the greenery and the little red flowers. So I'm just going to place them on there just like I did the little yellow flowers. Place them wherever you like just to add some filler. And we don't want to forget that I also have these blue greenery. It's blue, but this is what is this? This is some maple leaves. Yeah, that's what they are. So I'm going to also add those in there. So I want to cut them off from the bush as well. All right, so here it is with a little bit extra greenery. It's hard to tell. Put some up here, right here, a couple of leaves right here, and then one up here. Now I tried to place them where they wouldn't hide any of the flowers, so make sure that you maneuver them behind if you have some little flowers that you've already placed there or adding to an existing wreath. So okay, so now let me go ahead and prepare the little baby's breath so that I can go ahead and put them on the wreath. All right, here is the wreath with all the flowers and the greenery that I said I was going to put in it. I just have this little garland of, it's so cute, it's like little berries on there. I'm not really sure what they are, but it's a leftover piece that I had from something else. I also had this leftover ribbon that was draped around the wreath. I really don't feel that I need it, so I'm not going to use it. And I think I'm not going to use this little vine. I think it's really pretty, but I really feel like it looks really beautiful the way it is. So there we go. All right, everyone, as you saw, I have completed my wreath. So here it is with its beautiful flag draping off at the bottom. I think it's going to look absolutely beautiful on my front door. So I can't wait to go out there and hang it up. And I'm feeling very patriotic. So this is what I have created. So I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. And don't forget to leave a kind comment down below. Let me know what you think of my creation. Is it something that you're feeling that you want to create? Let us know. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So if you like the content on my channel, please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button right down there. And then after that, you'll see a little bell. Go ahead and click on that. Choose all so that you get notified of all of the videos when I upload them. It's not just for me, but everybody else that you subscribe to, so that our videos or channel doesn't get lost amongst all the many other channels. So if you really enjoy our content, please make sure you subscribe and hit your notifications button. So that is it, everyone. Make sure that you share on your social medias. You can follow me on Facebook on Trisha's Creations, Trisha Texas Lady on Instagram if you want to go and do that as well. And that is it. So you all have a wonderful week. And as always, enjoy.